Long ago, in a kingdom where the mountains kissed the clouds and the forest stretched endlessly, there was a village that lived in eternal twilight. The moon, which had once bathed the land in silver light, had vanished. Crops withered, rivers ran dry, and the nights grew so dark that even the bravest souls dared not venture outside. The villagers whispered of a witch who lived deep in the forest, a witch who had stolen the moon and hidden it away. No one knew why she had taken it, but they all agreed on one thing: without the moon, their world would perish. In the heart of the village lived a girl named Elara. She was small and quiet, with hair the color of midnight and eyes that glimmered like stars. Elara was an orphan, raised by her grandmother, a wise woman who had once been the village's storyteller. Her grandmother had told her stories of the moon's gentle glow, how it once danced on the waves of the lake, and how it whispered secrets to those who listened. One evening, as the village elders debated how to retrieve the moon, Elara stepped forward. "I will go," she said, her voice steady. "I will find the witch and bring the moon back." The villagers laughed. "You? A child? The witch will turn you to dust." But Elara's grandmother placed a hand on her shoulder. "If anyone can do it, it's you," she said. She handed Elara a lantern, its flame flickering with a strange golden light. "This will guide you. Trust it, and trust yourself." Elara ventured into the forest, the lantern casting a warm glow that pushed back the suffocating darkness. The trees loomed like giants, their branches clawing at the sky. Strange whispers filled the air, and shadows seemed to move on their own. As she walked, she encountered 3 trials, each designed to test her heart and spirit. The River of Tears. A wide, rushing river blocked her path. Its waters were black and cold, and the sound of weeping echoed from its depths. A ghostly figure appeared, a woman who had drowned in sorrow. "Only those who carry great grief may cross," she said. Elara thought of her parents, who had died when she was young, and of the village's suffering. Tears streamed down her face, and the ghost nodded. "You may pass." The waters parted, and Elara crossed. The Field of Thorns. Beyond the river lay a field of thorns that stretched as far as the eye could see. A fox with eyes like embers appeared. "Only those who are willing to bleed for others may pass," it said. Elara didn't hesitate. She stepped into the thorns, wincing as they tore at her skin. The fox watched, then said, "Enough." The thorns withered, and a path opened. The Bridge of Shadows. At the edge of the field stood a narrow bridge over a bottomless chasm. A figure cloaked in darkness guarded it. "Only those who can face their deepest fear may cross," it said. Elara's heart pounded. She feared the dark, the unknown, the thought of failing her village. But she took a deep breath and stepped onto the bridge. The shadows parted, and she crossed safely. At the heart of the forest stood a tower, made of twisted black wood. The air was thick with magic, and the lantern's flame flickered wildly. Elara climbed the stairs, her legs trembling, until she reached the top. There, in a room filled with swirling shadows, stood the witch. She was tall and gaunt, her hair like silver threads, her eyes glowing like twin moons. In her hands, she cradled a glowing orb, the moon itself. "Why have you come, child?" the witch asked, her voice echoing like a distant storm. "I've come to take the moon back," Elara said, her voice steady despite her fear. "The village needs it." The witch laughed, a sound both bitter and sad. "Do you know why I took it? The moon is not just light, it is memory. It holds the dreams and sorrows of all who have lived. Your village forgot that. They took it for granted, and so I took it from them." Elara stepped closer. "But without the moon, there is no hope, no dreams, no future. Please let me take it back." The witch studied her, then sighed. "You have passed my trials. You carry grief, you bleed for others, and you face your fears. Perhaps you are worthy." She held out the moon. "But know this, the moon is fragile. It must be cherished or it will fade." Elara took the moon, its light warming her hands. "I will remember," she promised. As Elara descended the tower, the forest began to change. The shadows lifted, and the trees seemed to sigh with relief. When she returned to the village, the moon rose into the sky, its light spilling over the land like a blessing. The villagers cheered, But Alara simply smiled. She placed the lantern in the center of the village square, where its golden flame would burn forever as a reminder of the moon's power and the importance of hope. As for the witch, she was never seen again. Some say she became the wind, others say she faded into the stars. But on quiet nights when the moon is full, you can still hear her voice, whispering stories of the past to those who listen closely. Years passed, and Alara grew into a wise and kind leader. She taught the villagers to honor the moon, to tell stories under its light, and to remember the lessons of the past. The lantern's flame never dimmed, and it became a symbol of courage and hope for generations to come. And though the witch was gone, her presence lingered in the moon's glow, a reminder that even the darkest hearts can hold a spark of light. Moral: light is not just a gift, it is a responsibility. Cherish it, and it will guide you through the darkest times.